Since 2010, change has swept across this rakish city on the Strait of Gibraltar at a dizzying rate. Heavy investment has moved the container port out of the city, the impenetrable Medina feels safer, the beaches are cleaner, and the bayfront Corniche was regenerated in 2018. There has never been a better time to delve into Tanger and reconnect with the city of Delacroix, Matisse, and Paul Bowles, and where William S. Burroughs wrote Naked Lunch. You can try to make sense of the Medina, sip mint tea at a louche cafe, stroll along the Corniche, and battle up to the 17th century Casbah and its magnificent archaeology museum. Today we share the top 10 best things to do in Tanger so you can plan a trip and experience all the exciting attractions and activities this beautiful city has to offer. Starting with number 10, Achikar Beach. Between the Caves of Hercules and Cap Spartel is a glorious public beach awarded consecutive blue flags in recent years for hygiene, water quality, facilities, and lifeguard provision. But the headliner is the sheer natural wonder of this long and wide beach, facing west and backed by sloping, gravelly cliffs for breathtaking views of the sunset. This is the open Atlantic, so the surf will be too strong for kids, but the waves break a long way out, and there's a large shallow area where we ones can paddle safely with supervision. At number 9 is the Medina. The maze-like Medina of the White City spills down the slope from the Casbah in the north, granting brief glimpses of the Bay of Tanger through its gorge-like alleys. Market stalls in the Medina laden with leather goods, carpets, spices, fruit, vegetables, fish, and handmade copper and brass jewelry. It is in this old city, previously a no-go for tourists, that you'll also sense the changing mood in Tanger. At number 8, Caves of Hercules. This cave, part natural and part man-made, is steeped in legend and set on a headland between two epic Atlantic beaches. The story goes that Hercules stayed here while preparing for his 11th labor. This was to steal the golden apples from the Garden of the Hesperides. Some ancient Greek writers placed the garden a little way down the Atlantic coast at the ancient city of Lixus. On his way to the cave, Hercules had to contend with the Atlas Mountain, and instead of crossing it he smashed through it, and so creating the Strait of Gibraltar. At number 7, Gran Sacco. Straddling the Medina and the Ville Nouvelle is Tanger's former central marketplace, which has since been given a facelift and become a transport hub. So where there were once storytellers, musicians, and snake charmers, there's a landscape space with palms and little lawns, all converging on a grand central fountain. The name Gran Sacco sums up Tanger's story, being a Spanish corruption of souk. The borders are lined with cafes where you can witness life at the point where new and old Tanger meet. At number 6 in our list, Plage Municipale. Hugged by the Corniche, the most convenient place to feel the sand between your toes in Tanger is the Municipal Beach, a broad crescent bordered to the west by the port. As with urban beaches around the world, the water quality may rule out a swim, and it may be some time before the Plage Municipale earns a blue flag. But with the recent development of the Corniche, the sand is now well maintained, and a pleasant place to enjoy the sunshine and sea air. Camel rides are also available here, and these animals appear healthy and well looked after. At number 5, Nar Park. And from Cap Malabeda, about 10 kilometers from Tanger, is a small resort furnished with a water park open to daily visitors. This attraction has been upgraded in the last couple of seasons, and has large, interconnected pools, a shallow pool for littler children, and a small lineup of slides, one with 2-seater inflatable rings. For frazzled parents, there are grass spaces where you can lie back on sun loungers under palm fronds. Nar Park is on high ground, so as you climb the steps for the slides you'll see Tanger's skyline off in the near distance to the west. At number 4, Corniche de Tanger. Another place where the investment of the last decade is unmistakable is on the Bayfront Promenade. This bends around the entire Bay of Tanger, from Morrocco Beach in the west to Cap Malabeda in the east. The section that most people associate with the Corniche is between the new tourist port and Villa Harris, encompassing two beaches at the Plage Municipale and Plage Malabeda to the east. Traced by scores of restaurants and cafes, this promenade dates to the 19th century but has been transformed in the 2000s, with smooth paving, geometric lawns, clumps of palms and benches. At number 3 in our list, Cap Spartel. Up the coast from the Caves of Hercules is the scrub-topped promontory that marks the entrance to the Strait of Gibraltar. Protected by reserve, Cap Spartel rises to more than 300 meters above the ocean. The water off the cape has been the scene of battles in the American War of Independence and during the Spanish Civil War, and is named for an archipelago thought to have been submerged around 9,400 BCE. Spartel remains as a sandbank with a highest point 56 meters below the surface. At number 2, Parc Perdicaris. On the road to Cap Spartel, you'll pass along the southern edge of this blissful coastal forest, on the western edge of the city. Parc Perdicaris adds up to almost 70 hectares and is named after the Greek-American consul and playboy Ion Perdicaris, 1840 to 1925, whose estate was on this land. When Perdicaris was kidnapped in 1904, it triggered an international crisis, and the response to the Perdicaris affair by Theodore Roosevelt is thought to have helped him win the election that year. Check out the number 1 places in our list, Dahlia Beach. If you don't mind going the extra mile for a perfect beach, you can venture east along the rocky coastline, towards Ceuta. Around a headland known as Point Ceres from the Tanger Med container port is the blue flag Dahlia Beach, held as one of the best beaches in Morocco. A complete contrast to Achikar Beach, Dahlia is on the Mediterranean side of trade, withdrawn from the coast in front of a bowl of rocky hills covered with pines. The water in this small bay is spellbinding shade of pale blue. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite things to do in Tanger? Is there something we missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Greenable if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.